Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you guys how to sew on a button. I'm going to be doing two different types, so without further ado, let's get started. Side, and then I'm going to be doing one that has a loop at the back, since they are sewn a little bit differently. And so we're going to get a strong thread. Ideally, you should have one that's either a silk or a cotton. I'm using a cotton thread because I don't have any silk thread right now. Polyester can work, it's just not as good quality as the stronger natural fibers. The first thing you can do is you can just first put it through one of the top holes of the button, like so. Pull it through until you want to pull it all the way through just a little bit, leaving a tiny bit of the tail behind, but making sure it's underneath the button so it's not sticking out. And then you're going to put it through this hole to the side of it. And you're going to loop it again through so that it can knot it strong. So you're going to do that. You're going to put it through it, making sure you're not catching the side of the fabric. And when it's strong enough, you can kind of pull on it. And if it doesn't come through, then it is knotted enough. Since the ones that are already put on this skirt are actually they're single buttons, I'm just gonna go across the tops like this, but I'm not gonna crisscross it like how you can do it sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of like looks like a basket weave. I'm not doing that just so it kind of lines up a little better, but you can do it like that if you want to. When you have a button that only has 2 holes instead of 4, it doesn't, you do it the same way you would do it with the basic ones. It's just, you don't have to go through as many. So you want to go back and forth, you just want to put it through the hole, and you pull it through. And I'm probably going to do that a couple more times, and then I'll do it on the other side. Whenever you're changing the button side, whichever hole you're going through, you want to make sure you don't do it from above as much because it can look a little more messy. Do it one more time here. Alright. And then I'm going to, from the bottom of it, I'm going to go through this side, and I'm going to go up and down through that hole. I think hand sewing the buttons does make it stronger since you can do a lot more loops of it. With the machine, you can only go back and forth because it can sometimes hit the hard plastic and it can break it, especially if you're going too fast. Alright, now that I have finished going back and forth, you can see I went up and down. I only went side to side earlier, but this one I only went up and down. And then, after you do that, you can go back up one time through one of the holes. Just go through one of them. And then you can stick it back through one of the holes, pick up some of it, but you don't want to actually go back down because you're going to lap the thread around the button, and that creates a really strong piece. It keeps it from accidentally being too close to the thread or to the fabric. And then you put it back down into the bottom of it so that you can't see it at the top. When we look back here, that's the bottom of the fabric underneath. And you could just pick up a little bit of the fabric and make a little knot. And then you cut it. And then you have a completed button. Nice and sturdy, much sturdier than these machine buttons, which I probably will have to eventually re-sew on. It can look a little messy. You could do a little bit more of a neater job at the bottom. So with this one, you can see this button does not have any holes at the top, but it has a loop at the bottom. Since I don't have any garments that actually need one of these buttons put on right now, I'm just going to use a piece of fabric, which also happens to be the fabric that is covering my table, so hopefully that does not distract anyone. So the way you do this one is a little bit differently than how you do the basic buttons. This one, when it comes to this, you're going to actually first go through the fabric first, and then I'm going to go ahead and do it like that. And you want to go back into right to the side of it so that it can catch the button easier, and you're going to redo that so that it can be extra strong. You're just going to go through the loop at the bottom again. You're going to pull it taut, and you're just going to continue repeating that, looping underneath the button and then pulling it through the fabric like so. You can see the back of it, and then you can see the front of it like so. Pull it through, and then you go back down into the fabric. These ones don't tend to be as secure, I think, as the buttons with the holes at the top, since they are often a little heavier, but they can still be strong. And then we're going to do what we did with the last one. We're going to go up right next to the fabric here, but instead of going back into the loop, we're just going to loop around this one like so, and then we will go back down. And now this one is secure, and so we will do what we did last time. Get a little piece of the fabric and loop it, and then we are done with that one. And I will cut the little tail end piece off as well because it's kind of stringy. And there we go. So both buttons were put on. This is a very simple task. It's not like tricky at all. Probably the easiest of them. Button holes are a lot harder when you're doing them, having to make them, because they involve a lot more practice and overall skill. But that's how you put on both. Both of these are very secure. These tend to be a lot stronger. I don't think you can actually put these on with machine. I think you have to sew these on by hand. These ones can be put on with machine though. And that is how you sew on both types of buttons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time.